guys. Today I'm joined with Alex Corona of the Corona Homes team, and I'm super excited to dive into the future of real estate with you, brother. I think you're one of the local kings that I've heard a lot about. We met very quickly, and your impulse right away in my life was immense. So I think this conversation is going to be awesome, and I don't think it's going to be the only one. So I'm super excited about it, brother. So thanks for hopping on with me.
Super excited to be here, bro. I'm so honored to be sharing the room with you and doing this podcast, bro. I appreciate you asking me to be here.
Good deal. Well, let's jump right in. This is what we're going to do. This is what I call a future headline. Here we go. It's 2026. Picture this. Headlines read, Alex Corona expands his real estate empire across the Midwest, transforming how agents build wealth. Additional headline 6 months later comes out. Corona Homes team leads the way in using AI and virtual technology to redefine the home buying experience. Alex, let's talk about how we make those headlines real, and where do you see this all going?
So absolutely, AI is taking over. So if you're not using AI right now, I don't know what you're doing. So we are fully immersed in AI right now. We're creating AI bots to take in the calls, do applications, call out, set appointments, pretty much do most of my admin work, handle the transactions, putting the houses on the market. So AI is definitely coming for your job, I could tell you.
Do you think the people that are worried about the jobs can very quickly alter into the AI world and make a huge impact?
They got to get in the game. They got to stop getting scared. I mean, myself, I'll let you know a little bit about my background.
Yeah.
I've never taken a computer class up until this year. So I didn't know too much about a computer. I have everyone on my team is smarter than me, and I got the vision. They can implement it. But this year I decided that I needed to start learning. I had to get involved in AI. So I needed to learn it. I literally went back all the way to Windows 1 and took classes. It was me and a bunch of senior citizens. And I went back to iPhone basics, Android basics, Canva basics. I had to learn everything from square one. And then I enrolled in every single AI class that I saw was available. So that way I could see what AI is all about, learn how to code it and prompt it. That way I could get the results that I need out of it.
And anything to get an edge.
Absolutely. And if you're not using it, you are going to be left behind.
With all that, I think, what do you see for the next, 1 to 3 years with all of that? You made impact right away. You took all those things 1 to 3 years from today. Where do you think you could use all of it for?
I believe, and I see it, I stay off the news. I don't watch TV. That tells you what to focus on. And there's so much propaganda going on. You don't even know what's true. So I choose to focus on what's in front of me. And the next, I say even 6 years. So I'm going to go even a little bit further than 1 to 3 years. There's going to be a bull run in real estate. And the people that are going to be using AI and knowing what to do with it are the ones that are going to be on top. And the ones that choose not to use it or just kind of use it, or, I'm checking to see what I can buy when my groceries on my come on. There's so many applications, so many different things that you can use it to make your life easier. And they're going to be left behind. They're going to not only be left behind, they're going to have to find a new job. We just keep picking up more and more market share every single day. And, right now is the summertime. It's so busy. Business everywhere, opportunity all over the place, and the agents are nowhere to be found. They're secret agents. They're on vacation. I have no idea where they're at, but we just keep dominating, and it's a lot of fun.
No, what I've seen with AI and with the future of real estate is the people could implement it right away to certain degrees. Like it's just like base layer, but then there's a whole different degree of where you could use it. And most recently, I think a lot that came out and updated now is just it's blowing my mind personally on it, and but it's helped a ton. I mean, I think it's sped up everything leading up to this point for a lot of my work, and I think for realtors, as far as just communication, customer service, I mean, that should 100x as far as like speed goes, and as far as marketing goes, like I mean, costs is probably so much farther down now for marketing costs. And then, I mean, so companies like yours can use it to, basically blow everybody out the water. And that's what I'm coming to see, is that now it's either like, hey, you might be in the game with us right now, but we're not stopping, and we're going to keep using the trends, and we're going to keep pulling forward. And by year 6, 7, 8, you're just not going to be able to keep up anymore. And, and that's could be sad for some companies, but at the same time, that's not our goal, to be in business.
One of the things that I teach my team is, to not be in your head, not to be scared. And I'm sure the little bit of time we had together, I definitely instilled that in you. And sometimes, even though I'm the one preaching it and I'm the one telling everybody, I was in my own head just last week. And actually the week prior. So like I said, I'm looking to do AI every which way possible. And I knew there's a guy I know, and, my network is huge. It's international. It's not just, in Illinois or nationwide. This is international. And I knew once I called this guy, there was no going back. There was no retreat. There was no, plan B. I knew, and it's not cheap. So I knew when I called this guy, not only is it going to be expensive, I'm all in. So again, I'm in my own head. I don't want to really give this guy a call because I know what it's going to be. So, hey, let's see who else is out there. Maybe we can find somebody else to help us out. So I had a couple meetings with different people. And, again, I know about this much. I don't know much, but I knew more than the two people that I was interviewing. So I'm asking them, oh, that's this program. They're like, I'm not sure. And, oh, this is that. Oh, no, I don't know. And does it do this? Oh, I'd have to check. And so they weren't really too tech savvy. They probably just watched a YouTube video, rolled out whatever they had, and now they're trying to sell it to me.
Yeah.
So, again, I said, and it got me to the point where I'm like, here, I'm just wasting my time. I'm like, my time is money. I'm calling this guy. So I call him, and he's very happy to hear from me. And, oh, my goodness, Alex, oh, dude, yes, of course I'll help you. And a matter of fact, you don't have to deal with my team. You could deal directly with me. Fantastic. So we get to building it out. And the more we're building it out, because obviously he's got to ask me step by step what's going on and, how we want every single bot built out. And the more that we talk, the more we see that we're like super in alignment, right? Like, man, dude, there's like his core values are my core values. Like everything he says, it's like it's coming out of my mouth. What I'm saying, it's like coming out of his mouth. And during the conversation, he says, Alex, I think we need to, I know what I said I'll charge you, but I think we're going to cut that in half, and we're just going to charge you for the one bot. He's like, and me and you are going to partner. He's like, and we're going to roll all these different bots out, and we're going to put a price tag on it, and we're going to sell it to the market. I'm like, what? I'm like, dude, can you, what does that look like? Can you repeat that one more time? Like, I don't think I heard you right, because I'm thinking to myself, like, is this guy trying to partner in my real estate company, my investment company? What's he talking about? Then he says it again, and he's like, yeah, I mean, we're going to partner on these bots. What? The companies, and again, I don't want to mention the guy's name, and I don't want to mention these huge companies he works for, but you will see, stay tuned, because it's coming. And not only am I going to be, have an AI at the forefront of my company, we're going to be the ones rolling it out and at the forefront of selling these things.
I think you brought up fear right in the beginning. And I think maybe when we first got glimpses of this, we were probably a little bit fearful in how to use it, or just like how to bend the rules. And like, you just don't know how far to go with things. And then now it's coming to where it's like, after you use it so much, you're like, wait, I'm no longer so fearful, and I'm starting to get more confident. And then I think that's really with a lot of things. When I first joined you, it was like, I was so fearful with real estate. I had no confidence at all, because I was just like uninformed, and then as soon as it's like you start getting around a circle of people that have way more knowledge than you, and then now you also have this superhuman right next to you, aka the AI, and you could work with your circle and then use the AI to the best, your ability. I mean, AI to me is like a ultimate sidekick.
There's like no doubt about it.
Robin to your Batman in your pocket at all times.
Dude, the second this Tesla robot comes out, dude, I'll be the first one in line. Like, I'm buying like 10 of those bad boys.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like
start knocking doors.
Oh my goodness. Like, yeah, I have no idea. Like my and again, people are fearful from it, right? So I got my son, I told all three of my boys, hey man, as soon as this Tesla robot, we're getting one.
Well, you guys do a lot of events. How cool. You could have freaking one right in the office,
right?
And just
all over the place.
Bringing the popcorn.
I mean, sitting there taking naps.
Popcorn, waters, anytime somebody walks in the door, their office is top of the line. I mean, the customer service, just the squad, everybody like makes you feel super comfortable, and I could see why they succeed so much with their business, because right away they're just like, oh, this is now your home, welcome in. Now imagine a robot coming in. It might spook somebody, but like, sure, thanks for the popcorn. You know,
But like I was saying, I'm telling my kids, and I got my one son like, oh my goodness, this robot, no, I don't want him, he's gonna kill us. I saw Mitchell in the machines, and then I got my other son like, he's gonna be my best friend. Oh heck yeah, oh man, I'm gonna hang out with him, we're gonna play video games, we're gonna do it. Like, and I heard you could teach it 1,000 things a day. It's like, man, how much can you download on this thing? Like, what can it learn? Is it gonna drive them to school? Can it pick them up? Can it do their homework? I mean, how much can it do?
And then our creativity could take that even further, and then it's just
I want it to cook, clean. I hope it does all of it. So
I agree. I would love it for all. And that's kind of like, some of these next tools, we just talked about AI and like automation. But I know you do really well with, when you do your listings, you post them on social media. It's like, you not only have photos, but you have like great copy, but then you also have the virtual format of it, the Matterport, and like
drone video.
What do you think about, virtual reality has been around for now a pretty long while. You think it's, that's going to be more popular, like giving people a chance to like view homes like in VR? Or
So
do you think that's kind of dead?
we've been doing it for, I want to say like 10 years now, maybe a little bit longer. So as soon as we heard of these 3D virtual cameras, which are called the Matterport, we bought one immediately, right? So we're on our third one. So there's Matterport 3 now, and so we were doing it even before the pandemic, right? So we were 10 years behind, or we were way ahead of everyone else, because most real estate companies or realtors, I hate to say it, but they're cheap, right? They don't want to spend any money. They don't even want to buy business cards, for God's sakes. They're like, nothing, right? So they don't want to spend any money. They definitely aren't going to be paying for your 3D virtual tours. They're not going to be paying for your drone videos and all your print marketing and your virtual staging and having a whole team on the listing side. They're going to do all the work themselves, and they want every single dollar, and they're going to squeeze every cent out of you, right? So us, we want to earn that money, right? So all these things that I'm telling you are all included with your own listing department, listing liaison, marketing department. We're going to go always above and beyond. It's one of our core values, right? We our service, right? So we go above and beyond. And, we know you need this, but we're going to do this, and that. And that's how we earn the right to get those referrals, reviews, testimonials, and to build that relationship, right? So, because that's the goal.
That
right?
goes such a long way. I mean, I think all that is, how much do you think, let's say you don't do any of those things and you're representing a seller or a buyer, how on average long do you think it'll take to sell or, to do that
it's not
those?
that, yes, our, what we do, it helps. I didn't finish saying, telling the story, but it definitely does help what we do. Can you sell a house with crooked pictures in the dark, upside down? Yes. If it's a beautiful home, it's going to sell regardless, but that's some of the competition. They're going there with their cell phone, taking, or worse, with their flip phone. The picture on the MLS is already like 2x2. And then when they take the picture on the flip phone, it's like 1x1 and it's upside down. So it's like, what am I looking at? I can't really see. So, to me, it's like, that's our competition. It makes it a little bit easier. And like I was mentioning, we were doing these virtual tours, these drone videos before the pandemic. So that when the pandemic hit, everybody was scrambling, like, how do I do this virtual home buying process? Well, we were already doing it. So it was just like, all we did was, we just continued to do it. Well, hey, Mr. Customer, you want to see this home? We got a virtual tour. You want to see the outside? We got the drone video. And now we have the Matterport 3, which you can actually do virtual tours of the outside. So people can walk the whole entire home, like they could get out of the car, walk the whole outside of the yard, backyard, side yard, and then they could go in through the backyard, front yard, and walk the whole entire property, see the drone video so they can see aerial shots of the whole entire lot that they're buying. This is the other thing that does, is it plants the seed on who's ever trying to buy the house. Yeah. Because when they see the marketing and they see all these other homes and they're like, oh, this guy got crooked pictures. Oh, this guy got 14 pictures done. Oh, this guy got 16 pictures done. And the reason they do that is because that's the bare minimum package that they could pay for if they're getting professional pictures. Us, no limit on the amount of homes that we're going to show, and on the amount of pictures that we're going to take. And with that virtual tour, people have already seen everything before they came out. So it was really simple to implement the home buying process, where everyone else was like, where am I going to get this drone video or 3D virtual tour? Other agents actually started hiring us to get this thing done. But then when it was all over, they stopped doing it. Yeah. And that's the thing, is about being consistent. And again, going above and beyond. You don't want to be doing the bare minimum and doing what every other agent does, because how are you going to get the business done?
The minimum's just not going to cut it. And that stuff allows you to scale. And like, I feel
exactly.
Like only way you turn this from just not being a job anymore to actually being like a full-on company, or a wealth builder, you gotta scale. And the only way nowadays is not just being the best on the block, or like being the nicest person is like doing every area like, and then as best as possible. So like when you first started with the VR stuff, probably weren't as good. When you first started doing your lives all the time, maybe weren't as good. Now you're freaking doing them 10, 20 times a day, just beast moding it. Like that's how a lot of this goes. And I think, compound growth on technology is huge. And like using that with your business is what's got us, to be here. I mean, which is, living proof.
It's the same thing with the drone. I had, DJI wasn't even out yet. And I'm researching drones and I'm like, what can I get? What can I get? And I find this company, DJI, and it says like, hey, we're going to be rolling out, you give us $150, startup kit, or I forgot what it was. And I gave them $150. They sent me out a drone, a backpack, 2 batteries, and a piece of paper to fill out that said, hey, let us know if you can fly it right out of the box. Let us know how tech savvy you are. I knew nothing. And I mean, I couldn't figure out how to connect it to my phone, but I did it. And then I got it up in the air. I flew it. I was like, oh my goodness. So they wrote out the thing like, hey, super user friendly. Because if I could use it, I mean,
I've crashed 3.
Yeah. Well, I got a couple cuts on my hands from it, but yes, I've crashed it a couple times. But hey, I was able to literally connect it, fly this thing right out of the box. And I owned one before they even came out. And because of that, they always looked out for me. I must have like 10 DJI drones, all different sizes, big ones, small ones, ones that look like Star Wars. And I mean, it's really cool. Removable cameras. And, but yeah, we've been doing this a long time.
As far as, you guys been doing it a long time. And also additionally, I think with experience comes a lot of lessons. And I feel that's a lot of also what I originally like right away got from you. I was like, man, I learned a lot of lessons just hanging around with you. I'm like, and that's powerful. And like, it's hard to hang out with people that you don't like learn a lot from, to be honest. And at least for me, I just want to be around people that give me good ideas. And like the whole reason for this conversation, a lot of these now is to kind of selfishly to ask you guys questions and to find out what you're building and all that, because it's like, that's the only way I'm going to grow. And like, I think the only way to live on this earth is to freaking build and to keep moving it forward. If not, like we're just going to all crumble, and trying to build a good world out here. So I've noticed you personally as well, like despite all the business and stuff, like, you have some really good lessons with just like life, family, all that, and like gym and just like having fun and like coaching and all that. So where do you see like what are you planning for the next year, 2 years, like more so personally than besides like Corona Homes team? Just think of you as Alex Corona. What do you guys or what do you want personally? I mean, let's get a little deep into.
So
what do you want?
There's this exercise that my mentor taught me, and he has me close my eyes. I'm standing up, and I'm picturing this person next to me, right? And he has me close my eyes, and he starts to, I'm starting to describe this person, and I might have done like a small exercise with you, or maybe, I'm not sure if I did this with you, but so. I'm picturing this person standing next to me. I mean, we could do it, or, but so and that person standing next to me is me. And it's the most elite version of myself. And he has me describe what that person looks like, what they're wearing, what kind of car they're driving, what kind of shoes they're wearing, are they built, are they tan? I would say, am I tall? I'm not tall, but you know what I'm saying. But so describe it to the T. And I know that if I work harder on myself, every other thing will fall right into place. So every single day, that's my goal, is to become that person. So I could take that step right into those shoes and become that person. And after I become that person, now I need to visualize another elite version of myself, because there's always another level. You're never going to get to the top and say, okay, I'm good, or hey, this is where I want to be. To me, it's like a never ending race. And I will never get tired of working, bro. Like I love what I do. I love helping people. And I tell people that all the time, I don't get tired. I don't get tired, because every single day, all I do is things that give me energy. Anything that drains me, I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah. I think that's huge. And that's the only way you're going to have like consistency. And I feel like stay in anything for a long run with health or business. Like you gotta be energized, and you gotta find ways to motivate yourself. And like, because what I've most recently learned is like, the levels to it, it's like they keep going. It's like
it doesn't stop.
You hit a victory, and then all of a sudden it's like, new boss. And then it's like, and at first it's like you're handling these bosses and you don't really know any skills yet. You don't know what to do. And it's like, you start gaining skill sets, you start meeting people, and all of a sudden like you start slaying bosses, and getting new levels. And like, you know, I think a lot of the future of, personal growth is going to be a lot of self-reflection with AI. To be honest, I use that a lot, and in very personal ways, and very, I think, people bring up dating a lot in AI world, and I think that's a little weird and creepy. But to be honest, like, they know you so well. The more you talk to them, and it's like, it's wild.
Have you asked ChatGPT what it thinks about you?
One of the first days I used it, I was searching it, a ton of stuff about me, trying to see like what it originally did. But most recently, no.
Ask it, because it knows all the questions you're asking. It knows everything about you. So when you ask it, like, hey, ChatGPT, what do you think about me? It'll literally, you'll be surprised what it says. And just like what you're talking about, I have I got an AI that we use. It's called buyer prediction. So when I go to a house, like let's say you call me and you're like, Alex, I got this $1.2 million home that's in, Bensonville, whatever, just making up a town. And I can literally type in the address, the price point, and it'll give me the avatar to the T of who would buy that house. So then I know who I need to target. So then I need to know, when I'm putting those ads out, who are the demographics? It's giving me the demographics. Yep. And better yet, I could take this to the listing appointment when I'm going to sell the house, and I could tell the customer, look, Mr. Customer, I already got your buyer. Here it is. And they're amazed. They're like, oh my goodness, you just described me. I was this person.
Right.
And it's like, yes. And now the person that's going to be moving in here, just like you.
Yep.
And that's what we're going to go after. And again, how long did that take? 7 seconds. I type in an address and a price. Yeah. That would take me days to try to roll out that report or everything that it says on there and all the research that they would take.
Not to go back in time, because we're not supposed to be doing that. But comparative to when you first started, or shit, when you were my age, like comparative to now, how much harder? Or is it just, have things changed and difficulty is still around, but like is now comparative to when you first started, in real estate, just like, has it gotten smoother?
So for me,
yeah.
Sorry, Alex, I just need you to stop touching the table.
Okay, I'm making noises?
Yeah, 'cause we hear it.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No problem.
Just take it back.
Good deal. Yeah. No, it's good. Let's see. Main question was, let's see.
You're like, how has stuff changed?
Yeah. Oh, right. How has things changed, Alex, since when you first got into real estate versus now? Have things gotten smoother? Are they still difficult, just with new challenges, but has time helped?
So for me, I think real estate, it just keeps getting easier and easier. So more and more tools keep coming out to just make our job so much easier. So when I first started, obviously I still think it was pretty easy, because again, we don't want to go back, but we got to talk about how it was before, right? So let's take a realtor back to the 90s, right? I'm a realtor now. I got a pocket full of quarters. I got to look for payphones to call my clients. I'm running around with these maps bigger than me to try to find out what the streets are and where's this house. And now I got to send my clients, the houses that are on the market. How am I sending them? Faxing them? Or like a big list of paper with no pictures, and all it's saying is how many bedrooms and the square footage. And like, to me, I get lost with navigation nowadays. I get, to sell somebody a piece of paper, that's pretty difficult. Yeah. It's so easy now. They can see the home from the outside with the drone videos. They do the virtual tour. They see all our pictures. They see the description. They see the price, the text. I mean, everything is on there and then some. So by the time they come, we know they're interested in it. So it's like, now we need to figure out, give us some feedback. What was the problem? Yeah. Let's fix the problem. Obviously, it wasn't the price or any of this other stuff, because that you already knew the price before you came. So why don't we figure out what was it that you didn't like, so that way we can fix it and we can overcome it and we can sell you this house. So now, like I said, it just seems a little easier. And if you're consistent with what you're doing, like us, I'm consistently lead generating. That's something that I live by. When I'm wondering what I should be doing, that's the answer. I'm lead generating, right? So when you're consistent and you know what you have to do and you do it every single day, you will always be ahead of the ship. So it doesn't matter what the market looks like out there. You will always be busy. You're always going to have business because you're doing the work. So I just used this analogy with my team the other day. I'm like, it's like you guys are pumping this pump, right? You got this well and you're pumping this pump and you finally get the water to come out, and then you stop, and then you don't come back for another week. Well, what happens? You got to start this pump again, and you got to get it flowing again. And every time you stop, you have to start over. So what would happen if you don't stop pumping? What would that look like? Right now, it's like this. You got a whole pool and a lake and an ocean, and
For real.
I mean, but you gotta keep going. So many people, the second it starts to hurt or it gets hard, they just quit. Oh, I'm done. And it's like, bro, you were right there. It's like if you would have just kept going, you were at that hump.
Right.
And God will give you what you need when you're ready for it, but you got to work for it, bro. And the second you need it, I promise you, He will be there to help you. But you quit, that's when you fail.
For
and just
sure.
like what you were just talking about with the lessons, that's where you get those lessons. That's where I got so many lessons because I keep failing, and I'm not scared to fail. I'm happy to fail because I'm going to learn from it.
Yeah.
So that what I'm afraid of is regret and not doing it. That's what I'm definitely afraid of.
No, for real. I think I struggled with that for a while. I think was just like fear of failure, and then also just not sticking in things long enough. I freaking would go, I'd start something, I'd battle for like 12 months, 18 months, get a little bit of like, friction, and then it was just like, let me pivot. There's a newer, shinier object. Try it again. Same result. Oh, newer. Like, oh, well, look at this. Same result. And then it wasn't until honestly a few months ago, maybe a year ago, I watched a video by Patrick Bet-David, and it was about his how he builds valuetainment, but also just all his avenues. And he was pretty much like in 2020 or 2021, this was the plan. He said at first we were only getting 14 viewers on our subscribers. We were only selling this amount of merch. We only had this amount here. He said, but we had a plan to keep on growing. And then he did a reflection video either, I think, this year. And it was like, now we have X amount of subscribers. We have X amount of merch sold. We have X amount in our membership and our consulting and all these different things. And it was like, all because he pushed through that 2-year, 3-year, mark and kept pushing on 4 or 5 years, kept going. And then success comes and it motivates you and you keep going. And like, that's kind of like the approach now I've taken is like no longer just passion projects. Anything that I'm working on now has to be a lifelong or at least a vision for something valuable to be sold. Like, and just an exit has to be in mind strategically, and like.
So if I could give the viewers
Yeah.
a little bit of advice, okay?
Lay
If you're
it
going to
out.
do something, you got to go all in. I don't care what it is that you're doing. You do your very best because that's the standard that you set for yourself. And plan B is literally death. That's what you have to think to yourself. You can't think to yourself like, oh, if this doesn't work out, I'm going to go do this. Or if, that doesn't work out, I'm going to go do this. It's like, I'm all in. I'm 100% committed. And plan B is death. So there is no plan B. Burn the bridges,
Yep.
burn the boats. There's no way out. So, and when you think of it that way, I mean, and to stay motivated, you just need to be growing.
Yeah.
Take in information and use it. And when you're growing, that'll keep you motivated. Because when you're not growing, you're dying and sad and depressed and,
For sure.
all these other things. So if there's something you can do and you can do right this second is get up and do something. I don't care if it's 20 push-ups. I don't care if it's 20 squats. Pull out a book, read 10 pages, do something. And after it's over, reflect on how you feel. And I promise you, you're going to like it and you're going to want to do it again and again and again. And once you create that habit, that's what's going to dictate your future. You cannot just do the same thing and expect a different result. You got to do something different. Sorry, bro, it's my
Do you
bracelet.
have a habit that like you really specifically like, I love doing this on like a daily or weekly and something like that comes to mind?
So I have a lot of habits.
Yeah.
So I live by a schedule. So from the second I wake up, I have that on my schedule, the gratitudes. That's first thing I do. You cannot be grateful and mad at the same time. So if I stay in that gratitude state, I'm always happy.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen me mad, upset, down?
I think one time, but you were joking. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, is he pissed? And then all of a sudden you start busting out. I'm like, oh no, we're good. We're good over here.
I like to clown. That's one thing I do like to have fun.
No, and that's what's, I think people could feel that. And I think that's why you dominate is like people that can, break down trust with people very easily and like, are easy people to learn from mainly, I think, when it comes to like, when I reflect back to college or something, like it's hard to learn from, let's say professors or people that are just like tough, man. They just don't vibe with people or like, they just have all their barriers up because of whatever. But it's like when it comes to, I feel like a lot of successful people, or more so, I wouldn't even say success, but just like people are driven, people that have like a mission, and that could be, to be the nicest, kindest person in the world, or it could be to be the best real estate investor in the world, and if you're driven, you're going to stay locked in, you're going to be happy, and it's like, but I think it's just when you lose your overall mission on where you're trying to stay focused on your target, that's when you turn your focus right back on you, and then you start getting in your own head, and then you're like freaking, you get lost, and you're a lost little puppy, and you're just freaking like, am I doing this right? Am I wrong? Am I right? And that's when you get doubt comes in, but usually that's right in the time where it's just like, keep pushing forward. Keep
So
grinding.
I always think, love is always the answer, right? So I think of our business as a faith-based business, and I'm very faith-driven, and I carry these in my pocket all day long. I hand them out, and literally, this little Jesus. Without him, I know I wouldn't be here. So
Facts.
I do everything from my heart, and I know He's going to take care of the rest.
Without a doubt. I think I've most recently really started praying a ton, and I could feel the difference. And I loved when you first showed me that. Like, that was one of the coolest things. I'm like, just little things that bring character to people. And that was one of the things that's like stands out.
I've handed out.
You got a lot of layers to you, and I feel like that's what brings a really good person.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Yeah, I hand them out by the thousands. Everywhere I go, I got a whole pocket full of them. So everywhere I go.
Let's talk, milestones, moonshots. Like, most recently, like, besides all the tools, gadgets, AI stuff, like just full on projects, like, in real estate, you got some certain goals, like, coming up on like very specific, or let's say,
I could give you a couple goals, too. So,
Yeah,
and
fire
this
away.
is just on the team, right? So right now, every single month, we're like top 3 in the state of Illinois, and we're not going for number 1. And we're first, that's, goal number 1 in the state, number 1 in the Midwest, number 1 in the country, number 1 in the world,
Yeah.
and then number 1 in the universe. And after that, we going
Keep on
somewhere
going.
else, bro. And we all taking this ride together. So that I know for sure. And the only thing that can stop me is death, bro. There is no plan B. Like I said, you got to die. You have to kill me to stop me.
let's say somebody does kill you and you got to get into a new industry because you're reborn besides real estate, what would you get into?
That's a
Or what
great
do you,
question,
you may
bro.
already be into it, and just like what's something that you would
I
dive
think
deeper in.
I think I would go into just helping people, bro. I think I have a lot to. I've been through a lot. I've I come from hell, so I can relate to a lot of people, and I think that would probably be it. I want to help people.
Why don't you put that together? Like
I already kind of do.
Like,
I already do. I
saw
coach
you did some
people.
calls
I do
lately.
coach some people. I do. You see, I'm at the office
Right.
changing lives every single day. I'm
doubt.
coaching my team. But if I had to come back and not do real estate, I think it would be, that in a mass scale, just like, thousands of people and all around the world. And that's what I think I would concentrate on, because I do love helping people, and I love, showing them what's possible. Because if I did it, bro, I'm not even sure if you know my story, but it's
You gave me a good glimpse. I heard it.
it's a mess, bro. And, I shouldn't even be here. So that's why I'm very grateful.
No, without a doubt. And I think you're a great coach because of all of that, according to, and what I see with all your kids too, and coaching and sports, and just like that's, that goes such a long way. And it's, I think not everybody's built that way. And, because if you could coach other people, you could coach yourself. And
Got to start there first.
exactly. And if you're coaching yourself, that's how you'll improve. And, you won't get to those next levels without freaking, testing waters and like reflecting on yourself and being like, why didn't that work? And then it's like, if you don't know the answer, find it out, or go into somebody and be like, hey, this is what I've been doing. I may need some help, or I may want to, shadow you, or I may want to ask you some questions. I may want to have a podcast with you. Like that's, I don't know. Those people, I think, will stride ahead a lot more than anybody that's just, and a lot of people could have ambition. It's like, I feel like I was very ambitious all the time. Big dreams, big goals, everything. But it's like, until I put down the, like, hey, I need to really ask better questions and, really dig deeper into, like, stop talking about myself and like really being like, okay, picking your brain. And like, when I sit down with people, like, hey, just keep asking questions, keep learning, like, no matter who it is, it could be my 9-year-old cousin. I love it because I
Get
can ask him a
inspiration
question.
from everywhere.
And freaking, or, the 82-year-old down the apartment building, like it's, you could learn so much from
Everyone,
conversation.
everything.
And like,
Just sitting in this room, I get inspiration. That's
That's
why it's like, just, I love that's step one is like your environment, right? So like if you're in a bad environment, you got to fix it.
you guys have an
You could
awesome
create it.
environment. Your office is sick, absolutely sick, and that's what motivates your workers to be there. That makes them want to, come in every day and to just keep on going. Versus, you see some shells out there that are just like, now in a world where people want to work remotely, you know how hard it is to probably get them to, come
Right.
inside. Like that's because nobody cares as much as you do. It's your business,
Right.
it's your thing, and it's like you want them to, and you could strive every day to teach them to, but they're never going to love it as much. But when you create a cool place and like your branding is off the chain, and that's what any like a new beginner that was just coming in is like maybe came from straight out of high school and they're ready to go. You have a great I forget his name already. He's the basketball player.
Jacob?
Jacob.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
Jacob. He's a great example of like somebody that instantly gets just a glimpse of what success could be like, and then also a good environment. And he was a super cool guy to meet. Like
And
while I was
thrives.
there. And he's thriving for sure. And I think he's got it. If he sticks in this like long run,
He got his license.
rock
He's
and
already
roll.
got houses under contract. 18-year-old
Smoked.
kid. He got his scholarship. He's getting a whole bunch of money together before he goes away to college.
That's crazy.
And the fact that I helped him do it, it was awesome. And one of his teachers, he told his teacher that he wanted to get into real estate. I think he was like a sophomore at the time, and I didn't even know who she was. I didn't even know the school that he was at. He was like up north somewhere, and he calls me. He's like, "Alex, I want to get into real estate," and here he is.
Yeah, that's you pitch a lot, you change lives, and like instantly you do that either via conversation or through work, and like through all that, and like that's powerful stuff, man. And bring it back to Jesus stuff, like that's exactly what he would want, and like you're living, he's living right through you, you're living through him, and it shows, man. And like that's why that's where success comes from, and the future has to be built by more people like you. And if that happens, I think we can have an awesome economy. I think we could have an awesome community. We could have an awesome network and all that. But that's also having high expectations. And sometimes, that's just not how scenarios work out, because, every day we roll the dice, and sometimes, God and the world gives us, different things to react to. And you could only, take it as you please and, roll with it and move forward. That's what, like, I just want to keep thinking more forward thinking. It's like, hey, no matter what happens right now, today, what can we do right now that will affect maybe a better future for tomorrow? And, like if you could keep doing that, you could build some good stuff. And I think a lot of the big, the best forward thinkers, best visionaries, that's all they were built on, was basically like, I don't care what my scenario is right now. I just want to build something that tomorrow I'll be proud of. And if you could do that, round of applause.
That's it, bro. Just got to keep going.
Right?
That's it.
So in the, man, I want to definitely have Jamie on here with you one day.
I should have brought her with. That's
I know.
a good idea.
I think that would be, we'll have definitely another conversation. And at this moment, I just do want to say, we've talked a lot about technology. We've talked a lot about business and technology, things like that. This is an awesome moment to think about people. And my charity, Fidan Foundation, is going to donate $1 for every view that is on this video.
Really cool.
And it's something that we're going to try and keep on doing. Rates are going to change and things like that as viewership changes. And really excited to help and give back, because I think one of my things I've been always focused on was how much to get more and more and more, and like more assets, more people, more money, more everything. And it was like, I think I got hit the last few years with a little clarity of like, this isn't your vehicle here. There's somebody else that's driving here, and you need to have a little bit more gratitude and things like that. And so it's something we want to do. So if you're interested in helping donate or anything like that for Fidan Foundation, you can go to fidanfoundation.org.
Really cool.
Back to the program.
Let's go.
Let's see. Let's talk more tech and future tech. I love crypto and love stocks. Honestly, now that I've dabbled in real estate, I don't want to say dabbled because that makes me feel like I haven't dove in the deep end, which now that I'm saying it, kind of maybe I feel like I haven't. and talking with you, and just like maybe I got to get to a little bit, take off some more chains here. But besides real estate, what do you like as far as tech in the future? And there's some, Proppy, for example, one of the most well-known, in the crypto world for real estate, I think is game changing. But despite, crypto and all that, what are you intrigued of for the next few years?
I mean, definitely crypto. I mean, there's no doubt about it. There's all kinds of coins, all kinds of crypto out there. I mean, every day something new's popping out. So it's just obviously learning the game. It's a tough game to learn because it's very volatile, but if you were to buy some, I mean, even if you buy a little piece of it, buy some Bitcoin, it's crazy going up. And, there's some other coins I've heard of, and again, I'm not, they go up, they go down. I don't want to tell you here, buy these. But as what I've seen Bitcoin doing, it's crazy. I have a piece of one, and I bought it, I want to say maybe 2 years ago, and it's probably almost tripled since I got it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and that's awesome. It's like I just think the technology is sweet. I was first intrigued in 2020, and then I think I first invested in 2021, and then but I got super scared. Like soon as I bought at the top of the market, and then all of a sudden it just tanked, and I was like, God, I was wrong. I'm like, damn. I'm like,
same thing
looking
happened
at my
with me.
buddies. I'm like, ah, shit, man. I'm like, I was wrong. Well, I'll bounce back from it just like anything else. And then, oh, here it comes back all the way up, 2022, 23, 24, and so on. And never sold anything, just kept acquiring the whole way down, even though I thought I was wrong. But I was just like, hey, if I'm going to bet on something, this is going to be one of those things, Other than that, I was taking the safe, retirement accounts, and it worked out. It worked out really well. And honestly, with all of, me building a business, there's a lot of expenses, things like that. What's kept me afloat is all my crypto, which is freaking awesome, and just not even have to sell anything, but just to know that, hey, if I absolutely lose all of my nest egg, is like I still have, all my digital assets, which is fantastic. And I've been using them now, which is kind of where I'm getting into as collateral. So I've been using my Bitcoin as collateral, and as it's been going up, I've been keep shifting a little bit of aside, and it's given me USDC to use. And I think that as far as real estate goes and loans is the game changer, because my problem the last few years is just coming from family businesses, getting paid cash, not having the best credit, things like that. You're not the best candidate for loans. And obviously right now to get a loan is freaking impossible. Crypto has unlocked the fact that now you could just, if you just own some, it's usually Bitcoin because it's the most trusted. Wait, I could just if I have $1 million of Bitcoin, you're going to give me a $500,000 loan instantly. You don't need to show anything, nothing like that. That's a game changer, because for somebody like young starting up, it's like, because why should, somebody who's striving to do better day by day get denied for a loan, but yet there's somebody who's may just have a better credit score gets an opportunity. And it's like, it's unfair. So blockchain and crypto has changed that. So how soon, and like based off, because you're obviously in the thick of like communities coming in and people just every day, is there like any type of like consumer talk, or is it more so just in investor world right now?
So, I mean, there's consumer talk as well. Yeah. I mean, pretty soon we're not going to have cash. We're not going to have coins. I mean, it's not going to be around anymore.
Yeah.
So they're setting us all up to get it ready.
I'm thinking about launching 3 crypto coins, and this is a little soft launch to it now. So whoever's watching, get ready. Maybe buy some early. And I but I copied a lot lately of what I've been doing is studying the biggest people, and Trump is one of them. He came out with his own coin. That kind of got me going. That's what started a few influencers to do their own thing. And I'm like, what are they using this for? And it was usually just like short-term gains. Trump might have a different, agenda. But then I was like, well, how can I do something like this? And to bring up, Fidan Foundation, one of the coins is specifically used for charity and for, it's a stable coin. So it's fixed to the dollar. And so then if you donate $100 and you get $100 of that coin, you always have it. And it's like, it's a very awesome incentive. And then I have one coin that's just like Bitcoin, and it's going to be a buy and hold forever. And we'll have additional one that is for short-term gains that'll be very volatile based off of how well I am as an entrepreneur. You know, if I'm popping off, doing podcasts, doing a lot of business, being successful, I'm hoping that people will be trading the coin and holding it and the price goes up. And it's a way to, now I found is a way for people to invest into you. You know, it's like back in the day, people would always say like, hey, if you were a stock, you know, I'd buy you. I think now people could literally do that. And so that's one of the things I'm just now I don't really have like the coding background. So like that's where I'm like trying to, how do I figure it out without having to have a lot of expenses on it? But I think that's the future. And
I was just about to ask you, how do you roll a coin out?
Basically what I've got, you know, when I ask AI a ton of this, because I'm like, I don't want to do coding. I don't want this to take, you know, hundreds of hours, but I basically ask it, you know, I'll give it, you know, a few different things. I'll give it my perspective or the perspective it needs to take. I'll give it context, and then I'll give it basically what it needs to do. And it pretty much spit out, you know, a few different best options. And then I had to go down what chains worked best, you know, and then I had to narrow down what my goal was. And my goal was basically mainly for the charity purpose, because I was like, how do I get somebody to just invest into me or invest in my companies, invest in my deals without just being like money hungry? And I'm like, well, the best way would be in the form of charities, but then also in a way where they get something back. Whereas like if I gave you like, hey, give me $1,000 to, you know, invest in my charity, you don't get anything besides like an email confirmation, a receipt, you know? Whereas I was like, wouldn't it be sweet what if they could just get my coin now? And then, you know, we have access to that market cap for need be for charity purposes. And then if we're creating enough volume, if they ever decide to sell their coin and they pull it right out. So that was what I learned. And there's like, you know, the coding route via Python and all these crazy softwares. I wanted to keep it as simple as possible. And what we've narrowed down to is on the Ethereum blockchain, and then Ethereum's layer above, which is Coinbase's chain, which is Base, seems like it's going to be the best fit, because they're in the best fit right now to create a media channel that I think is going to do a lot of this easier for people. And I'm trying to be on the forefront of it. It's basically like, hey, if you want to invest into me and you think, hey, I'm going to be a gazillionaire one day, it's going to be very smart to buy my Fidan coin, because that's my buy and hold one. If you think that I'm going to just basically, you know, I'm going to do some cool businesses, but then I'm going to fall off, and I'm going to do some cool business and I'm going to fall off, probably really smart to trade my coin, Alec. And then if you want to be a part of our charities and donate and invest with us, our John coin. John's my middle name. So Alec, John, Fidan, 3 different coins, all 3 different functions. Crazy future. We'll see how well it pans out, and hope it succeeds. Hopefully, maybe that's the one that puts me on the map. Who knows? But I've been dabbling in crypto for years. I tried creating NFTs with supplements and freaking NFTs for real estate, NFTs for cars, and I'm like digital assets, and I still believe in it all, but putting it together is hard. It's freaking hard. And
it was easy. Everybody would do it.
I think what I realize now is like just pull people in, and it's like you need team members, and it's like you can't do anything with just one person. Like, so freaking that one's like, it's tough, because when you're trying to get people to jump onto your like team under your name, do you struggle with that too? Like people come, it's like Corona, it's like that's your name, you know. And
so I kind of tried to let, you know, I want people to think that it's their name out there, right? It's their name on the building. So when you think of it that way, it's like, here, your name is out on that building. This is your reputation. This is your business, because it's literally a business within a business. You know, these are pretty much, you know, self-employed people. They got their license. They're not hourly. You know, they're again, a business within a business. So here, how can I get them to think that that's their name out there, and they're representing, you know, yes, they're representing Corona, but they're representing themselves ultimately, right? So once I get them to that state, it's okay. You know, I you know, and again, if you're not, it's okay. You just can't be on my team.
For sure. I've just most recently started getting into hiring a lot now, because I'm trying to build a virtual agency, and like as much as possible, I'm really taking the remote vibe, and you know, besides me and my few local partners and things like that, it's just going to be all virtual agents. And then eventually, you know, until I can figure out AI agents as well, like that's eventually, like,
I'll have them.
Humans are hard to deal with, you know, and like,
oh my goodness,
we all make
they
errors.
get abducted by aliens. Their mom died 4 times. You know, they're
myself included though.
got
It's
bit
like sometimes
6 times. I mean,
you know, I'm like, I'm not the best employee, and I've actually told that to, you know, one of my partners now, and he was just like, I do very well with, you know, making a lot of bringing in a lot of revenue and sales for them and stuff like that. But I'm like, man, John, I'm like, I know I'm just not the best employee. I'm like, but I'm a pretty good salesman. I'm like, but I'm not going to be, like there's just some areas I suck at, as far as like, I'm not going to be the best communicator, and like I'm working on all those things. But sometimes I stick to just like, if it's with sales, what's the goal? The goal is to get their credit card number in most cases, and to get them to sign the contract and to things like that. I stay focused to that. And like once that's done, I'm like, okay, next. And I try to, and I might miss in some gray areas when it comes to, and some employees are really good at those areas, so it's like.
So there's an exercise that I do with my team. I might have even done it with you, or maybe you heard of it, but, and I got it from Dan Martell. So you guys don't know who Dan Martell is? He wrote a book, Buy Back Your Time. If you haven't read it, it is a game changer. You have to read this book.
Agreed.
So he draws a quadrant, right? So there's a quadrant, and there's the things that give you energy, that make you money. There's the things that give you energy, that make you no money. Then there's the stuff that drains you, that makes you no money, and the stuff that drains you, that makes you money. So you got to write all these things down. And now the stuff that's on the side that gives you energy, those are the things that you're going to do. And those other things, now you got to find people that are going to cover those. And the stuff that you love to do, and the stuff that makes you the return on the investment, which is your time, those are the things that you need to stay concentrated on. And if there's anything, you got to tell yourself like, hey, I want to make $500 an hour. Maybe you're not making it yet, but hey, I want to make $1,000 an hour. And if there's any task that's less than $1,000 an hour, we're going to hand that off to somebody else. And when you could figure out what those things are, now your time, which is worth more than anything, you can't go to the store and say, hey, I need 30 seconds, right? A minute, nothing. So your non-refundable minutes, they go away. And anything else can be replenished. I need more money, no problem. I need more food, I need more water. I mean, I need house, whatever, right? You could go buy that, but you can't go buy your time. So you got to be really, really efficient with it, and make sure that what you're doing is moving the needle. Because there's just because you're busy doesn't mean you're doing anything, right? That doesn't mean you're moving the needle. Doesn't mean that you're making any money. There's a lot of things that can keep you busy that does nothing.
Yeah, you showed me that exercise when I was at your office, and that was great. I also read the book too, so it was like sometimes when you're building a spider web, like two things need to connect. It's like heard it once, heard it twice now, but hearing it from Dan's book, and then hearing it from you, it's like puts it together a little bit better. And
I actually got to speak on the same stage as him. First time I met him, he gives me his book, he signs it, and I'm like, Dan Martell. I heard him speak on stage. I think he spoke like right before I did. And I was like, holy moly, does this man know his stuff?
For real. And that's a lot of, I've been studying a lot of him for the AI agents lately. And guy's a beast as far as brand. And, guy knows, and that's, I think, like you kill it with all the blue and like always rocking that. He's always rocking his blue shirt. I'm going to try and always wear white now. And hopefully we could build some brand identity.
Absolutely,
that's like
bro.
the goal here.
There you go.
Freaking keep it going. Might be short sleeve though sometimes, so don't.
It's all good.
The comments don't
Gotta show them guns.
Yeah,
might have
guns. Maybe the new arm sleeve.
As long as you don't call the cops. Oh, you got a new arm sleeve?
Yeah, it's
That's
working.
What's up,
We'll tease it.
Okay,
we'll tease it. But legs coming in, it's half in.
There we go.
We're gonna be looking like a convict soon.
Hey, no judgment. That's why I wear suits, because I like, I do scare people. So that's why, people tell me, hey, why you got the suit on, bro? I don't want to scare nobody, right? It's one less battle I gotta face.
Oh man.
But hey, real quick before I forget, so we were talking about the future here, and what we think is going to happen. So I know this is what's happening. Okay, so I have a lot of business owners. I know, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of business owners, and every single one of them is working on becoming a solopreneur.
Yeah.
So what that means is they're going to replace their workforce, and not only people that are in the office, but people that are building their machines, people that are doing construction, people in the factories. Again, these people do not get tired. They don't need a break. They don't need a raise. They don't need anything but maybe some oil and some maintenance. So the people that learn how to control these machines and control the AI and control what bots or robots or whatever is going to be working, they're going to be the ones that still have that job.
Yeah.
So if I was you, I would learn the skills that are going to pay the bills and get to learning the AI. And if you're in a business that has been talking about it, or maybe ask one of your bosses or supervisors, hey, if this is what you guys are going to roll out, like, is there any classes that you guys can pay for me to take, or that I can pay to take, or what are you guys rolling out so I can learn this, so that way my job is still going to be here.
Yeah.
because they're coming for you. I'm telling you, every single person, just like what you just said, you're looking for virtual assistants. Virtual assistants, if people don't know what that is, these are people in other countries that are working for a whole lot less than you are and working, actually doing the work and loving it, because the $5 that they're making an hour is so much more money than anyone else is making over there. And, we're actually paying our VAs a whole lot more than $5 an hour, and what's crazy is when you ask them, like, hey, when you have the interview with them and you're like, hey, this is what the job is, what are you looking to get paid? And they tell you $4 an hour. I'm like, oh my goodness, $4 an hour. I actually feel bad. I'm like, you know what? I'll pay you a little more. Right. So, and that's where it's coming to. It's either virtual assistants, which are in other countries. We have some in Nicaragua right now. We have some in Colombia. We have some in the Philippines. We got some in Mexico. We got some in the Dominican. So, we're doing the same thing. And I could tell you that these guys that are making a whole lot less money are working a whole lot more and never complaining, never taking off. They're actually asking for more work, more hours, more. And unfortunately, the people here, it's less. And I want more.
I think a lot of that is because I think people are seeing entrepreneurship being done like so easily nowadays. So they're like, I feel like they they see the possibility of being in those roles, but then they get discouraged because of hard work and everything. And then it's like, they may not want to work as hard, or they'll bail and things like that. But it's like the VAs they'll do their job every time because they're getting paid for it. And obviously the agents, they're the best option. I mean, I can't even believe it. So I'm all for that. How do you think my goal is like a stupid goal? I don't even know why I picked the number, but 10,000 agents is my goal to freaking like across, not just real estate investment or anything, but I created a ton of pipelines for all my basically departments that I'm trying to build, and across Fidan Inc.'s umbrella, things like that. And I was trying to get to 10,000 agents despite like hiring and things like that. What do you think in the future makes my day a little bit easier? Or like, how do I go from dream to like outcome?
So what I do when I have a goal, I reverse engineer it, right? So if you said 1,000, 10,000?
10,000.
10,000. So now you have to see right now, what does it take to get me one agent, right? So, and then you want 10,000. So now you have to reverse engineer that and say, okay, so you want agents to be salesmen or?
Mainly sales, hiring.
Okay.
That's really
so let's say, and how are you acquiring them right now?
We're all Indeed.
Okay.
LinkedIn.
So now you have to see like, okay, what did I do to get one of these leads in, right? Or what are these agents in? And then out of how many interviews of these agents, how many agents did I actually convert into joining the team, right? And then that number, now you have to reverse engineer that from that 10,000. So, and the cool part is that number will change because you are going to get better at what you're doing during the process.
Right.
But this will give you an idea of, hey, it took me, I don't know, 3 agents to get one or whatever. So I'm going to need to talk to 30,000 of them to get my 10,000.
Right.
Right. So that's how, I do things is I reverse engineer. So that way I can figure out what is it that I need to do. And now this is the goal. So are you going to do this 5 days a week, 7 days a week, 10 days a week? Or, what are you doing? So the reason I said 10 days a week is because, my podcast is called the 727. So it's how to work 3 days in one. So you could work 21 days in 1 week. So it's up to you, how many days am I going to work? And, based on how many days I'm going to work, now I know, okay, so I talk to 6 agents a day. Okay, cool. So that means, now that knocks it down to 5,000 days or what 5,000 days am I going to work to get these agents, and is it going to be 5 days a week? And now you have to stay consistent with it and time block that time, right? So is it going to be, and while you're doing it, you need to find out what is the best time to call, right? You gotta play that book yourself. Is it 9 o'clock? Who's answering? Is it 10 o'clock at the time that's best answering? 11, 12? What's that? And once you find that out, that's how you start dialing it in.
Do you think after all that, because it's totally possible and we're already rocking and doing it, you think all that effort, all those skills, all the things that would get put into building it 10,000 human workforce, should I just shift all that and just be like, we just have an AI agent workforce and it's just like me and nothing but robots?
So like I just told you, there's everyone I'm talking to is a solopreneur, but I know people that have huge amounts of agents. I know realtors that have more than 10,000 agents. So it doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
But what I could tell you is
A
that
lot
these
of lawyers
guys,
that do it too. Like
these
that.
guys do not. Their life doesn't suck. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that.
Do you think if I had 10,000 AI agents versus 10,000 human agents, which one is better?
Oh my goodness, the 10,000 AIs.
Right.
You don't even need 10,000
So,
AI. You
that's what I'm
get
saying.
like 1,000, not even. You get like 100 probably that'll do more work than the 10,000 agents.
Because I built like in my CRM, I have like close to like 25 pipelines, and that's to 25 different pipelines of revenue or like hiring and just basically, lead to conversion or prospect to conversion, client, basically just moving them down. I'm like, started doing all this hiring and, I was like, oh, damn, I got to do all these meetings. And I'm like, well, maybe it'd just be smart to hire a hiring manager first. And then
Absolutely.
I'm like, after that, then it was like, well, now that I got this, I'm like, these people need leads. I'm like, well, and then I got to put all the leads in. I'm like, well, then you need a lead manager. And I'm like, started to do all this hiring. I'm like, bots might do this a little bit easier and better. And then I'm like, training videos, all that, they don't need it because they already have the knowledge. Like I wouldn't need to teach them, because what I'm getting caught in now is like training videos for somebody who knows nothing about real estate. They came from maybe some type of sales, or they came from like being a line cook and they're just like, I want to do sales. I see the opportunity, and they're like, but then I got to train them. And even with like training videos, they still can't grasp it. But I think it's like AI don't need it. You just literally is just like build it. And it's like, if you can build it, then it's go time. But my struggle is like now building it, meeting the connections to build it, and
So
stuff like that.
what I would tell you is, if you're going to invest your time, invest it instead of the hiring process, invest it on building that first bot.
Yeah.
Because once you build that first bot, then you can just keep rolling them out. So the hard part is getting that first one done.
Right.
And like I said, if you could just wait a little bit, we can handle it. Or if you want to get it done now, which I would do is just get it done, bro. And start working on it instead of investing your time in training these agents that is like pounding your head up against the wall. Let's spend our time building this bot. And then once we build the one, we could just keep rolling them out.
Yeah.
It's not like you got to reinvent the wheel. It's like, here, the wheel's built. Let's just another wheel. And now, like you said, now you got 100 agents, because that's literally what I'm working on. Same exact thing.
What was interesting, so when I started Banana Farms, which I remember telling you was like my real estate investment company, and then as I started doing all this hiring, I'm like, well, actually, like, it's not just the homes that are the banana farm that could produce, income and things like that. It's each, employee. And I was like, man, and I switch actually. Banana Farms is now kind of like the whole hiring company. And it's like, we're trying to get as many leads that can become, Banana Farms, as far as like producing, a lot of like revenue and profit for your company. And I think that's the switch, because I think it's just too time consuming, too costly to have humans, be put on the hook on a daily, weekly, monthly. Like it's just going to be too much churn. But I feel like dig deeper and take a little bit more in the beginning and build systems and ops, and that's going to go a longer way, I think, at least.
So, a lot of agents, they sell the sizzle, right? They're like, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to sell this big sizzle. And, I explained to them, like, it's cool. It's cool to have the sizzle, right? We got that too. We do a lot of sizzle. But what we sell is the systems and the processes, right? Because that's what people want to buy. They want to make sure that you got this down pat, right? You've done this before. You have the experience. And right now, 91%, here we are almost the end of July, and 91% of realtors haven't even sold a house yet this year. And all of last year, 71% of realtors didn't sell a house the whole entire year. So, like you're saying, I mean, just because you passed the class, you got your license, you tortured yourself, and now what? I don't know what to do. And I'm scared. And I'm a secret agent. I don't want nobody to know. I don't want to put it on Facebook. I don't want to make a video. I don't want to make a post. I don't want my mom to know. I don't want my brother to know. It's like, dude, your mom just bought a house for me because she didn't know you were an agent. Like, what was the point of all of it, right? So, but they didn't tell me in real estate school I was going to have to make phone calls. They didn't tell me I was going to have to lead generate. They didn't tell me I was going to have to make a video. They didn't tell me I had to make a post. They didn't have to tell me I had to tell people, it's like, I mean, what did you think this was going to be? And that's why when people tell me, Alex, I want to get into real estate, before you make a move, feel free to come to my office, visit us, shadow us, see what we do, make sure it's what you want to do. You don't want to go and sign up for this class and spend months or weeks, or like I just had a lady that joined the team 20 years. It took her to get her license. 20 years. Imagine that. And then you get your license and not do anything with it. It's like, I don't understand. And we all have the same license. We all have the same job. It's just some people actually know what to do with it.
I think that's a lot of what's happened recently is like you come to like a conversation with somebody and they've had like the same amount of opportunity as you or something like that. And they didn't take it as best or something like that. It's like, hey, you got your license, I got the license, you know, or like you did this class, I did this class, you went to school, I went to school, you know, and like, I feel like that's what creates a lot of separation nowadays with people. At least what I've noticed is like you start taking strides against other people, and more so I'm talking like your personal work, like network and stuff like that, the people that you're kind of battling with, you know, and it's like you're not competitors in any way, but it's like you're not necessarily on the same squad. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. I think, I don't know. I think these people will get awoken very soon with where the workforce is headed. And I think being an owner is the only way. And, you know, I think it opened up my eyes the last few months on taking that approach. And always wanted, you know, I loved assets, owning assets, but I was like, just was always stuck in the job. And like, you know, just some people are built for it, some people aren't. And I noticed I definitely am not. I can't freaking, you know, it's hard for me just to do the same thing every day, you know? And it's like, so I guess that's a question for me to you is like, I know every day to you is definitely different. You know, you meet at different houses, different people, but in the end of the day, I feel like you've really dominated being able to do the same thing and like, you know, not skipping. Like you don't go like 7 days wearing a suit and then on 3 not. It's 10 out of 10. So how do you keep doing that?
It's just discipline and consistency. You know, it's like I said, I know it works and you just got to keep doing it. You know, and like I was saying, if you're inconsistent with one thing, you know, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you're inconsistent with something, and like what I'm hearing, a couple things that you're saying, I'd say you need that confidence, you know, because if you start questioning yourself and you start like feeding yourself negative thoughts, like, or worse, you're telling yourself like, I can't do this, I can't do that. I don't do that. And I'm not well at this. And what do you think that's doing to you? Right? You don't ever want to tell yourself any negative anything. You want that so far gone. You literally have to yell to yourself. I did it earlier. You know, I was having a meeting with 2 ladies and, you know, every idea I have, it's fear driven, right? Because that's like the world is so fear driven. You tell them something and immediately negative. It's not going to work. That's not going to work. What about this? What about that? What about the one thing that we could do that actually might make this happen? How about we think about that? And how about we think about how we can make it happen instead of all the bad things that are going to happen that never will happen, right? So we could stay fear-driven and be scared of our own shadow, or we could start telling ourselves we're monsters, we're beasts, we could do anything. And that will literally rewire your brain. So the second I start hearing all this stuff around me, I literally yell as loud as I can. I'm not gonna do it here, but I yell loud. Like everybody turned around in my whole entire office, big old office. They're in the conference room. Everybody's like, dude, what the heck just happened? I yelled, cancel. I don't want to hear that, bro. I don't want to hear nothing negative. I don't, and you got to literally yell this to yourself. You got to tell yourself, cancel. The second you hear yourself questioning yourself or can I do this? I don't know how to do this. The hell you don't? Figure it out. You got every single thing you could ever want at your fingertips with your phone. You're carrying it all around everywhere, except you're doing the wrong things with it. You're scrolling through Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok and watching all these funny videos and TV. And, you know, how about we work harder on ourselves and start to believe, because that's where it all starts. If you can't believe that you can do this, it will never happen. You're always going to have that doubt. You're always going to have that plan B. You got to have that backbone, bro. No matter what happens. There's going to be blood, sweat, and tears? Absolutely, bro. That's like the price of entry. And if you're not willing to shed blood, sweat, and tears, stay your ass under the bed, under that blanket, keep hiding, and let your boy take care of the business.
For real. Facts, brother.
bro. That's all I speak. And people sometimes they have a problem with it because I'm speaking facts and truth, and they don't like that. They don't like to be called out. They don't like to be, there's one thing, and I'm sure you've noticed it when you're around me. I don't play that victim mentality bullshit. Like you could, second I hear you with some bullshit ass excuse, I will call you out every single time, and you are not going to like it. And you're going to be defensive, and you're going to blame other people, and you're going to point the finger. And after all of that, you're going to think to yourself, you know what? I needed to hear that shit. I'm sick of being babied. I'm sick of everybody fucking on my, just saying yes, yes, yes to everything I say. And you know what? I needed somebody to kick me in the mouth and get me going in the right direction. It's the same thing I tell my team. I'm very coachable. I'm not perfect. Of course, I'm going to fuck shit up. But the main thing is I'm going to be responsible and hold myself accountable for it. And I'm going to let them know, yes, I messed up. And hey, what are we going to do to fix it? Right? I'm not going to point the finger, play victim, and worse, be full of excuses. Because I don't play that, bro. And sooner or later, like I said, they come around and they honor it. And they're like, you know what, Alex? And then they come over and then they apologize that they blew up on me. And they're like, you know what? I needed to hear that. I needed somebody to tell me that. And I appreciate it. And then they finally start doing something about it. Or they don't do anything and they quit.
And that's when, if they come back to you and they take that in the right way, that's their first steps now in building a future. And, only way you could build is being optimistic. Like imagine trying to build a building pessimistic and just being like, soil's not good, foundation's not good, paperwork's not good, city's not good, population's not good. You're never going to get it done. So now think of that with life. It's like if you're just constantly like, man, I'm not good enough. It's going to take too long. I don't have enough money. Never going to happen. You ain't going to build nothing. Somebody that takes a little bit of accountability after they get, maybe a little, woken up, I gotten woken up many times in my life from my grandparents to uncles, dads, people that really and they give you like not just lessons but like a scar, is like, hey, like learn from this. And they're not going to say that, and to be honest, the only person that's going to tell you that actually is probably God. Is going to be like, hey, like hopefully you got that message. I don't want to have to give you a deeper scar, but I will, definitely will. So
signs are everywhere, bro. It's just up to us to see them. God's helping us every step of the way. It's just us to open our eyes and let him in.
Yeah. And because you ask for, you got to ask. Yeah, let him in and freaking let him help, because that's a
superpower, bro. To be able to ask for help, that's literally a superpower. So many people's ego is not their amigo, and it's in the way of everything that they're trying to do. They're controlled by it. They would rather lose a home, be behind on everything, lose everything before they can ask somebody for help because they don't want anyone to know that they lost or they failed. It's like, bro, then you really lost and you really failed. Like everyone out there is willing to help. You just got to find them. There's people like myself. You ever feel like you need to reach out to me? I'm a phone call away, and I'm here to help, bro. And I don't need nothing from you. I'm not trying to ask for a cent. I'm just here doing it out of the kindness of my own heart.
Yeah, and he definitely will. And I could guarantee that. So to reiterate that, if you guys, anybody needs anything, help, please reach out to either of us, and more than welcome to make any type of arrangements to help out, and that's, I think is in the end of the day, that's what all this has to be for, at least what I do all this for. And I used to tell this to my ex-girlfriend and to, it's like right now, it seems very selfish. Like you're just building for like yourself. And it's like, some people take this for generational like values. And it's like, that's all I want to build for is like, not even like, I'm going to be long gone, but I guess what I want my name still around, whether that's legacy. Alec or that's Fidan or John, and the only way is like, you gotta put your stamp on generational curses, and you gotta be willing to like learn from the past. But in the end of the day, like your past doesn't determine your future, and you could rewrite anything from any day. You could go from just being an absolute turd to the next day being a stud, and it'll happen. And you just gotta ask for it. So.
I'm that turd that he's talking about. So I was the worst of the worst, and here I am, and that's why now, I've the rest of my life to give back and make up for all the dumb shit that I did. And, a lot of people have that scarcity mindset. They don't want to help people. They don't want to, it took me 20 years to figure this out. How am I just going to give this to somebody? And I will do it. I will hand it over on a silver platter. The people at the bottom, they're all in competition. And the people at the top, they're all in collaboration. They all want to help each other. Nobody's at the top worried about competing. I'm not worried about competing with anyone. I have an agent mastermind every single month where agents come in from, doesn't matter what company they work for. And it doesn't even matter if they are an agent yet. I'll show them how to get in the game, all for free. I'll tell them every single thing I'm doing that's working. What I do on social media, how I do it. I was just on a podcast a couple weeks back. I actually just went out last week, and it was how we do marketing, how we built our empire with zero money, not a dollar spent on marketing, all organic. 1,400 plus reviews on Google, all organic. I mean, everything we do, hundreds and hundreds of testimonials from our clients, all organic, not a dollar spent. And we've built this machine that can't stop now. There's nothing that we could do to stop this machine from just pouring these leads in every single day. Now it's just up to us to convert them.
Yeah. And I think you guys are going to freaking dominate these next few years. And I think just next few months, I feel like I could feel just momentum building around people and our economy and just our circle, things like that. And, I think there's a few people, sharks, for example. I know you're head shark, but, I think there's a lot of momentum happening for the ones that are using it in the right way and could take it and it's going to stride away. And it's funny that you say, I think I don't want to say in a rude way, but the lowest vibrational people talk about each other. They talk about the past. They talk about drama. I think level 2, people talk conversational, A to B. Today I was in Costco and they didn't have grapes. That's a little pessimistic. But then there's the top tier, and I think that's the people that talk about the future and talk about what they're building and what. How can I help? How can we do this together? And main reason of bringing you on and everybody on is going to be for those reasons. Selfishly of being because I want to take little snippets and bring them over to me, but also it's I'm just sick of the past and history and just always reflecting on what happened years ago in history or politics, and it's let's just stick to what we can control now and what we can build now. And it's usually just relationships and hopefully a shit ton of money.
That's why I stay off the TV. That's mandatory, bro. It's do not watch the TV. Do not watch the news. I don't watch sports. I choose what I'm going to focus on. I create my own economy. And there's one thing I know how to do more than anything. It's to win, bro. And as you see, I just... coached. I coached my son's baseball team first. I coached in Orland Park. First year coaching over there. Didn't even know any kids. Drafted a whole entire team. We won the championship. Right. So those guys were so mad. Right. That's all they do is live, breathe, and die sports. And here's a guy who can't even spell baseball, and we won the championship. Why? Because I know how to get in the kids' heads and I know how to get them to believe. And that's what it takes, man. If you're not, if you don't believe in yourself, how are you going to get other people to believe? And it rubs off. Who you're around is everything.
Yeah.
When your mom tells you, hey, don't hang out with that kid because you're going to be just like him. She's right.
Totally.
She's exactly right. Hang out with some people that are going to make you better. Because if you're hanging out with 5 millionaires, guess who's going to be next? You're not going to be in jail, I promise.
No, for real.
You're gonna actually benefit from it. So surround yourself with the right people. Figure out what your core values are, and if these people don't fit your core values, don't be around them.
Yeah,
really easy.
Yeah, and just do it quick and just cut deep. It's not, it might sting a little bit in the beginning with some friends and some people, but it's it helps. When you start getting around the people that you could be authentic with. And that's what I've been working on. It's man, I want to be around people I could feel like I don't need to change, because you are a different person to everybody. And you want to try your best to really get authentic and to get down to your one true self. And if you're like this with somebody and you're a completely different person with another one, it's that's how, bipolar syndrome becomes a thing. It's no, you want to be authentic, and that truly you're going to be authentic with winners, I think, mainly because you're sitting there and you're gonna have respect for yourself to be dude, I want to be where they're at, or I want to know what they know, you know, and it's like when you're having those conversations, it's like that's when you're growing, and you could feel your vibe is just way much higher, you know, because you're rubbing shoulders with somebody who's already at a high vibrational, you know, state. And it's just, if you're around people, I heard a crazy stat. I don't know how true it is. Somebody search it up, but like if you're within 27 feet of somebody, you could basically get into their vibrational state. And like, so if you're sitting in a classroom with a bunch of people that are, you know, let's say you're in detention. Who are the people in detention? Usually people that don't give a shit and just are, you know, let's just say not the people you want to be around with. But now you're sitting down there. Now you're getting fully absorbed with low vibrational people. What do you think you're going to turn into? Same thing. So like being in the room and being next to people that are just absolutely soaring, they're locked in, they're in their zone. Like, just like you said, who do you think is going to be next? And it's a big play, man. You got to be around the people. And with that being said, it's like, thank you for sitting down and having this convo, but also additionally, thank you for meeting me months ago.
Oh,
you know,
bro.
I called you out of the blue. You made a post, and I was like, you know what? Let me call him out of the blue. I'm like, and he picks up first ring, you know, and he's ready to roll. You know, thinking it's somebody who's trying to sell their house. I'm trying to get a job. Like, you know, I'm like trying to come in. I'm like, I want to learn. I want to be around it. I'm like, I'm in the game, got a few rentals, but I want to learn investments. I want to, you know, and right away. You know, gives me an opportunity, comes in and teaches me everything he knows. I mean, like, that's freaking, I'm so grateful for that. I'm grateful for any future conversations because I would love to have some more this season, next season, every year, things like that, different places. Wherever we go, I want to be part of your circle, brother. And I appreciate everything so far. So,
Oh, bro, come on now. Least I could do. You know, anybody reaches out to me, bro. You want it? I'll help you get it, bro. My job on my team is to make my team rich or die trying. That's my job. Nobody works for me. I work for them. They tell me what they need, and I make it happen.
That's true. And he freaking does it, man. It's not just, you know, does it, man. He'll help out. He'll put you resources, and he'll give you everything you need. I brought up, and I'm like, hey, I need a headset. Next thing, boom, he walks out. He's like, here you go. Here's a headset, which I think I ended up walking away with.
It's all good. You
It's in my backpack.
use it, bro, because they weren't using it at the office, so use it. It's cool.
Oh, man. Oh, this is great. I mean, we talked about a lot. Future is bright. And do you got any final remarks, comments, anything that on the future that you're excited about, or anything you just want to leave the people, and then let everybody know, obviously, where they can find you, and because which is pretty easy. But yeah, fire away on them.
So if I had, you know, final takeaway, I would tell you guys, look at that person in the mirror, bro, because that's the only person that can stop you from whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. And everything that you ever wanted is on the other side of everything that you're not doing. So if you can get real clear about your goals, and the way to do that is to write it down. Because if you don't write it down, it doesn't exist. Write it down on a piece of paper, exactly what it is you want. So that way the universe and God can conspire to make it happen. And absolutely write down what it is you don't want. So that way the universe and God will keep it as far away from you as possible. But get really clear. I don't care if you want a man, you want a woman, you want a job. This is how you do it. You write it down, the dream job, the job you don't want, the man you want, the woman you want, and watch the magic happen. But you got to get clear on your goals and then spend the rest of your natural life going after that shit.
Hey, if you're just as excited as I am about the future, rock and roll with this. I hope you guys got some knowledge. If so, please follow Alex on everything. Corona Homes Team is his website, coronahomesteam.com, Corona Realty Group. And if you guys want to keep getting some more videos like this, I want to know what you want to see, who you want on. Drop some comments. You like it if you did. Subscribe if you can. And, you know, once again, Alex, thank you for, you know, making the trip out here. It's not easy.
All good,
I know
bro.
you're a
Hey,
busy
it's all
man,
good.
brother.
I'm heading out of town tomorrow, but it's all good.
He's
I like
grinding.
to do what I got to do, bro. It's a good life. I'll tell you that. I also, you know, if you guys want to check out what we do and how we do it, you know, we got also 727 podcast, and definitely you can find us on the web on coronarealtygroupinc.com, or this is the best way to get a hold of me. Call the number that changes lives, 708-925-2352. I'll pick that shit up first ring. Let's go.
All right, good deal. All right, brother.
Love you, homie. That was dope, bro.
Good deal.
All right, let's go.
All right. Peace out.